This evening, Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry criticizes Bank of Guyana's inaction on foreign currency shortage. Guyana strives for food security with a focus on corn and soybean cultivation. Guyana Police Force investigating the circumstances surrounding a fatal car accident on the Belle Vue Public Road. In the region, Colombia protests, police and indigenous groups clash in oil field, and internationally, Greece train crash. Public anger grows as death toll rises. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. Tonight's newscast begins with some financial news. The Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry has issued a press release stating that it is dissatisfied with the Bank of Guyana's lack of action regarding the ongoing foreign currency shortage in Guyana. The GCCI believes that the Bank of Guyana has failed to implement modern financial policies to improve access to financing for local businesses and has not intervened to address the foreign currency shortage issue. Despite the private sector's complaints since 2019, the Bank of Guyana has failed to intervene in the ongoing foreign currency shortage issue. The GCCI believes that the Bank of Guyana's inaction to activate mitigating strategies to address the foreign currency situation is a disregard for business. Meanwhile, the Bank of Guyana responded by stating that it is an independent central bank that aims to promote stable credit and exchange conditions. The law states that the Guyana dollar is a freely floating currency traded in a market where prices are determined by demand and supply. The Bank of Guyana further stated that the GCCI seems to think that they exist to ensure that foreign currency is always available to their members at their desired prices, but this is not how an open market economy works. Instead, the GCCI should engage with banks or banking associations to better understand the factors that influence foreign currency availability and pricing. The Bank of Guyana is committed to engaging with the private sector in concerns in a respectful manner. Also making the headlines, Police ranks of Regional Division 3 are investigating the circumstances surrounding a fatal incident on Belle Vue Public Road, Canal No. 2, West Bank, Demerara on Thursday, March 2nd. The incident involved motorcar PAB 1938 owned and driven by 38-year-old Samuel Mahes, now deceased, of Stanleytown, West Bank, Demerara. Inquiries disclosed that the motor car was proceeding north along the western side of the road at a fast rate of speed when the driver lost control of the vehicle and collided with a culvert on the opposite side of the road. As a result of the collision, the motor car toppled and ended up in a trench, submerged with the driver inside. The vehicle was later pulled out of the trench by public-spirited citizens with the assistance of a motor lorry. Mahes was taken out of the vehicle in an unconscious state with injuries to his head and body. He was taken to the West Demerara Regional Hospital, where he was seen and examined by a doctor who pronounced him dead on arrival. Mahes' body is at the Ezekiel Funeral Parlor awaiting a post-mortem examination. On a different note, in making strides to invest in Guyana's human resources, the government is offering scholarships for educational opportunities. The government has partnered with the Russian Federation government to provide limited scholarships for 2023-2024 academic year at the undergraduate and postgraduate levels in Russia. The application process for these scholarships is open as of today, March 3rd. The undergraduate level scholarships are available to suitable qualified individuals in various fields of study. Applicants must be 25 years or under at the time of application and hold a valid Guyanese passport. Postgraduate level scholarships are available in civil engineering and medical biochemistry, and applicants must have a relevant bachelor's degree with a minimum of 3.0 grade point average. Candidates must also be 35 years or under at the time of application and have a valid Guyanese passport. Interested persons can access additional information from the website on the screen. The application deadline is March 10, 2023. Stick around when we return. WIN injects $16 million to over 200 women-owned startups and 48 move-in-ready homes under construction in Letem.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Give your home or office some shine. Fortune Investment Company. We provide reliable commercial and residential professional cleaning services in Guyana. We clean homes and commercial offices. Other services offered are floor care and tile polishing, interior auto detailing services, power washing, weeding and cleaning, and carpet, couch, and mattress cleaning. We are committed to keeping your homes and offices squeaky clean. Call us now at 592-689-7558 or 592-639-6365 or visit us at 3430 Jackson North Rumville, Georgetown, Guyana. Fortune Investment Company. When we say clean, we mean spotless.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Sooner or later you will have another power failure. Are you prepared for the next blackout? Some essential equipment such as security cameras, lights, internet, gate motors, and water pumps may stop working. How can you prevent the next blackout? InverterTech has an affordable solution for you. A strong UPS system which uses the latest inverter and solar battery technology to prevent blackout. We smartly calculate your average power demand so you don't spend more than you need to. Call 223-2233 for more information.
Welcome back. As government remains steadfast in its commitment to achieving food security and reducing CARICOM's high food import bill by 25% by 2025, the administration has been encouraging the cultivation of new crops and varieties, value-added production, and climate-smart agriculture to achieve this goal. To be self-sufficient by 2025, the government will remain committed to cultivating corn and soybeans in the intermediate savannas. This year's budget allocated over $1.2 billion for infrastructural development in Takama, where soya is widely grown. Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa revealed during an outreach on Wednesday in Region 5 that some 1,200 tons of soybeans will be harvested shortly.
We are seeing new crops. We have started this year, if you look in the newspaper this morning, almost 1,200 tons of soya will be harvested very shortly. That shows our commitment in diversifying. We are seeing a revolution, we are seeing a change in the agriculture sector. Not only rice and sugar will be dominating our country's agriculture sector, but we are seeing growth in all the other sectors.
By 2025, the intention is to increase production to cover at least 25,000 acres continuously. This crop will be used for the creation of livestock feed. Guyana imports close to $30 million in feed materials annually. Access to the area was improved in 2022 with the construction of 40 kilometers of road, with the remaining 7 kilometers to be completed this year. The construction of the first storage and drying facility for corn and soybean is expected to be completed within the first quarter of this year. Some $150 million will be invested in constructing a Takama foreshore wharf to provide critical access to the area under cultivation. Mokomoko in the north, Rupununi is also earmarked for corn and soybean production. In other news, construction of the first 48 homes is progressing under the Let Them Housing Support Program. The government pushes sustainable housing development in hinterland communities and aims to satisfy the demand for move-in ready homes. The homes are being constructed at the new Culvert City Housing Scheme and Tabatinga Housing Scheme Let Them Region 9. Each unit measures approximately 550 square feet and is outfitted with 2 bedrooms, a living room, a kitchen, and a sanitary facility. Some 600 Let Them residents are targeted to benefit from the initiative. Bricks and timber for the homes are being sourced from communities within the region. Let's switch gears now and talk about the more than 200 women in Guyana who have received a total of $16 million in cash grants from the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security through the Women's Innovative and Investment Network Business Incubator. The initiative, a partnership between the ministry and the World Food Programme, identified participants who first completed a WIN training course before using the WIN in the business workshop. The beneficiaries completed and submitted their business plan, including a cash flow projection and details on how they would develop their business. Out of the 216 cash grants distributed, 157 new businesses were registered, with 39 renewing their registration and 20 having valid registrations. The government aims to create economic opportunities for women and provide a level playing field through the WIN program. Recipients of the cash grants received step-by-step guidance from the ministry to start their businesses and were educated on how to secure a national insurance scheme and the Guyana Revenue Authority compliances. Don't go away after the break. Mexican soldiers kill 5 in border towns, sparking protests, and Greece trade crash. Public anger grows as death toll rises.
Celebrity Pure Vegan Cuisine and Bar. We say vegan, we speak about 100% vegan. No dairy products, no MSG. From the cheese, the butter, the milk, everything we use here, it's vegan. Our breakfast, some of the special we have for breakfast: porridge, fried plantain, we have boil and fried katahar, boil and fried cassavas. We have soup of the day, which you all know. The main thing in that soup is the dry mushrooms as well as the bean curry. Young okras is a must with full ground food, split peas and everything up in that. Coconut milk is the main thing. Then we have the lunchtime. Some of the main dishes the people already is hitting on: the split peas cocoa rice, basmati and quinoa mix. A lot of people don't know what's that, but you come down here, you get it. It's a replacement of rice and a great substitute in the vegan business. Then we have dal, corn, okra and carrots, edo leaves, chanchi down, coconut milk. There's so many side dishes, but one of the special things is the chicken that we make right here. We make sweet and sour chicken, strip chicken, jerk chicken. All of that is in-house, made right in here from scratch. In the evening, you know everything is up. We also carry a large variety of organic and natural products. Some of the products that we have here is the hemp. The hemp, that one is a very important product for the body. Proteins and everything to the max. We have the Corellia. This also is very good for the body. We have the Spirulina. Spirulina is very good for everyone, but men benefit a lot from that. After the Spirulina, we have the maca powder. These are all organic and natural powders for the body, especially when you're getting up there in age. You use these things as supplements. Black seed oil. On the internet, it said the only thing the black seed oil don't cure is death. And there are many more products that we have there, full variety. We have the natural juices we also make. We have from like the sorrel juice, the pineapple juice, mabi, ginger beer. All these things make from the bark or the natural powder. We do not use concentrate in this cuisine at all. Everything we do is natural. Also at the Celebrity Pure Vegan Cuisine, we have a well-stocked bar. Some people choose to have a drink when they finish eating. We need to make sure that they're comfortable, they're happy when they're leaving this place. So we do our best to provide the services that we think is required. Remember, this place are fully AC and we cater for weddings, all occasions, birthday parties, anniversaries. So we set the place so that everyone can come, feel right and understand what's happening. Come right down to the Pure Vegan Cuisine and Bar, 198 Camp Street again, and you will find everything you need to live to be healthy.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Colombia has sent a high-level delegation to defuse protests at an oil facility after a police officer was killed. Negotiators are trying to broker the release of 79 other officers and 9 oil field workers who were taken hostage. Al Jazeera's Alessandro Rampieti reports.
Hundreds of farmers and indigenous people clashed with police early on Thursday. They have attacked an oil field in a rural area of San Vicente del Caguán in southern Colombia. Protesters have burned the offices and other infrastructure of the field owned by international oil company Emerald Energy. A police officer and a protester have been killed allegedly by gunshots. The community then detained at least 79 police officers and 9 oil workers. They were forced to march in a line while being mocked by the demonstrators. Colombia's ombudsman repudiated the violence.
We regret the confrontational situation that left a police officer and a farmer dead and many injured. Violent acts only create more violence and don't ease the path towards spaces of dialogue between the people to find agreement.
Tensions has been rising in the area for over a month as communities blocked access to the oil field, demanding improvements to local roads and other infrastructure. The Caguán region has long been a focus of conflict. Dissident factions of Colombia's former FARC rebels operate in the region and may be involved in the unrest. In a tweet, President Gustavo Petro has ordered that the violence stop, dispatching a joint commission from Colombia's defense and interior ministries as well as the armed forces to the region. But opposition politicians in an attack against the government say the unrest is a consequence of Petro's failing security policies that favor dialogue and negotiations with criminal elements.
What's happening today is the consequence of the lack of presence and action of the national government. We are going back to the time when criminals took control of Colombia's territory.
Late on Thursday, the officers remain hostages as the government scrambles to bring the situation under control. Alessandro Rampieti, Al Jazeera.
Meanwhile, the UN's Human Rights Commission is calling on Mexico to investigate the shooting of unarmed civilians by military personnel. 5 people were killed on Sunday, sparking protests. Al Jazeera's Manuel Rapano reports.
Funeral services for 3 of the 5 young men shot and killed by security forces in Nuevo Laredo, Mexico last Sunday. Autopsy reports obtained by the Spanish newspaper El País now reveal disturbing new details, such as military personnel firing more than 60 rounds and from multiple angles.
What we know is that the military discharged their weapons without prior provocation from anyone. What's clear is that not a single protocol was followed, and people were killed without having done anything. This should be part of the investigation.
The shooting incident gained attention after this amateur video appearing to show soldiers discharging their firearms to disperse a crowd after the incident went viral on social media. The outrage has only intensified after 21-year-old Alejandro Perez, a survivor of the attack, told investigators that soldiers may have tried to cover up their actions.
In fact, the soldier asked me if I wanted to leave, and I told him, yes, I do want to leave. Then he said, now we're going to record a video where you told us this was all your fault, that you were fleeing, which isn't the truth.
The deadly incident in Nuevo Laredo has sparked anger in Mexico and led to calls for accountability and accusations of corruption within Mexico's security apparatus. Some say this latest attack against unarmed civilians follows a troubling pattern among security forces in Nuevo Laredo.
It's important to note that at any time there is an action like this, where the army or the Marines make a mistake, they react by criminalizing the victims, to make them appear as spies, killers, or part of some criminal organization.
Mexico's President, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, has promised an investigation will be forthcoming, adding that his government is committed to protecting human rights.
Se pidió la intervención.
We've asked for intervention from the National Human Rights Commission to investigate this case. Also, military authorities are also helping with the investigation.
As details continue to emerge over what really happened in Nuevo Laredo, early reports suggest that security forces mistakenly identified the young men as criminal suspects, though questions remain over why soldiers ultimately decided to engage with lethal force. Manuel Rapalo, Al Jazeera, Mexico City.
And internationally, the crash happened on Thursday night when a passenger train and a freight train collided. A station master has been charged with multiple counts of manslaughter. Rail workers across Greece took part in a strike on Thursday as public anger towards authority grows. Protesters say they are frustrated over years of underfunding, which they say has left the rail system in a dangerous state. Al Jazeera's John Soropoulos has more.
Traffic cameras on a nearby motorway capture a massive explosion as the two trains collide. The fireball reduced the passenger train's engine and two front cars to strips of metal. The freight train's forward engine was hoisted from the track. Rescue workers who were there moments after the crash described the scene.
What we saw was without precedent. Burned remains, a stench in the air. The smell of burning plastic, shapeless sheet metal, fire, people in pain. It was a living hell. It still is. I just wish strength to the people who've lost loved ones and hope the injured can go home fully recovered.
At Larissa General Hospital on Thursday, dozens of relatives, many of them parents of young people coming home from a 3-day weekend, were trying to match their DNA to that of body parts, and sorrow mixed with anger was palpable across this city. 3 weeks ago, the Railway Workers Union issued a public complaint demanding investment in personnel and automated signalling equipment, saying a major accident was only a question of time. And they weren't the first. Last year, the Hellenic Railway's chief safety officer resigned over a lack of safety procedures. Larissa station master has been charged with manslaughter by negligence for allowing the passenger train to travel north on a southbound track. But people here say he is not the only one to blame.
We can't scapegoat the station master or anyone else. Responsibilities must be meted out to all those who are really to blame. Anyone who has a share of the blame must pay his share, because it seems that the responsibilities go beyond the station master, at least according to the unions.
The Prime Minister has promised clarity on what went wrong with Greece's rail infrastructure, which is a state responsibility. That could bring great political cost, but people want answers. John Soropoulos, Al Jazeera, Larissa.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. This concludes today's Headline News Update. Tune in next Monday at 7 p.m. with our next broadcast. For more news and updates, you can visit our Facebook and YouTube pages. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other, and do have a wonderful weekend.